Happy holidays all, and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle in Stormwind, I chat for a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. Now today's going to be a bit different as it is the festive season. We're going to be going over Wintervale in World of Warcraft as well and how it all came about. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. Now, Wintervale came about in WoW from two factions, or not two factions, two groups of, I've forgotten the words for them, two different types of people. Yeah, we'll go with that. You got the dwarves and the Tauren. Two races. There we go. Two different types of races, dwarves and the Taurens. So they each have their own theory on what Wintervale is about and how it came to be. So for the dwarves' perspective, it's all about the Titans. And this is how the dwarves were made. This is how the dwarves and gnomes were made. I'm not going to get into that massive lore, that's very heavy and can lead on to other things completely. But basically the Titans created the dwarf constructs, these like metal dwarves, and the old gods did something called the Curse of Flesh and basically turned them into humans almost to weaken them, because obviously human you can stab, a stone like dwarf you can't, that kind of thing. So the dwarves believe that Titans played their part in the Wintervale. They believe that it was a Titan who walked the lands leaving snow on the floor, and this is what brings about Great Father Winter and brings the snow into the world of Azeroth, like Dun Morogh, where they live and everything. They pride themselves on basically thinking that it was the Titans or a Winter Titan who creates Wintervale. Now the Tauren, on the other hand, they don't believe they don't believe that the Titan story is true at all. What they believe is that it is the elements. Now, you obviously have elements like earth, fire, water and air, but the elements in World of Warcraft are actually living. Like they are living beings. They can manifest into actual beings. And they believe that it is the elements who transform the land, leaving behind the blanket of snow so that the earth may heal. And after the earth is healed, in springtime, when spring comes around, that nature can grow, and it's a nice cycle of the elements, which is kind of true. Because Tauren are very spiritual, and they're very one with nature. This obviously does tie into their sort of culture very well, and it does make sense. Now, as for the rest of the world in World of Warcraft, you have, everyone else just doesn't really care where it came from. They don't care about the origin of it. They just love the time of the year because it's very gift heavy. So they just want to get out their wallets, go spend their gold and give gifts to one another to show their appreciation for each other. Which, even though you don't believe in anything, it is quite fun to sort of, have that festive spirit. And as your job in WoW, as you're an adventurer, you're a hero of your faction, of the world, your job is certainly never done. There are many different things that you can do during the Wintervale, and one of them is going to free Metzen the reindeer, who has been captured by the abominable, like, Grinch almost, like a massive yeti, and you go save Metzen with his little red nose, and you'll get some cookies and stuff as a reward. So it's all good fun in World of Warcraft at around this time of the year. And that's kind of it with Wintervale, really. There's nothing too extreme about it. It is very much like the Taurens have their own beliefs, the Dwarves have theirs, everyone else just wants to give gifts to everyone else. And that is kind of what the season, or for me anyway, what the holiday season is about. It's about showing your appreciation to others with the gifts that you get them, or just spending time with family and friends that you don't usually see throughout the year. Now, this is going to be a very short podcast, I do know, but it is Christmas, so I didn't want to keep you guys away from your families or whatever you're doing on this fine day, on these few coming days. I also don't want to necessarily keep you away from all the activities that you will be doing as well. I just wanted to keep this one very short and sweet, and this will be my last podcast of the year, actually. I started in July of this year, and this will be my very last one. The next one will be up in 2021, which is very exciting, and I hope to carry on the podcast and to really push it in 2021 and see where I can take this with your guys' help, obviously. But again, this is a very short podcast. It will be back to normal next week in the new year. I just want to say to everyone who is listening and to those who listen constantly, thank you very much for supporting me with the podcast and everything in the half a year that I've been doing this. And I want to keep making everything that I can to improve the podcast for you guys, as well as just the general content overall. So once again, thank you all very much for listening, as always. Happy holidays, everyone, and don't get too drunk over the holidays. Don't eat too much. Make sure you get that New Year's resolution for the gym in, and I'll see you all in the next year. Thank you all very much for listening, and yeah, thank you all for giving me the time and continuously listening to these podcasts. I couldn't be more grateful. Happy holidays once again. Goodbye all.